What if I told you that the biggest threat to your company's bottom line isn't the competition, it isn't the economy, it's your windows? Right now, as you're watching this, your windows are acting like silent, invisible thieves, stealing money straight out of your bank account, draining the productivity of your team, and slowly destroying your most valuable assets. Think about it. It's 2 o'clock on a scorching July afternoon. Your best employee is squinting at their computer screen, fighting a migraine-inducing glare. The thermostat is set to a frigid 68 degrees, but the team members sitting near the windows are still sweating, while the ones in the back are shivering under blankets. Your HVAC unit is screaming, running a marathon it was never designed for, and your monthly energy bill looks more like a car payment. That scene, playing out in thousands of American businesses every single day, isn't just a minor inconvenience. It's a massive hidden drain on your resources. And the U.S. Department of Energy backs this up, stating that heat gain and heat loss through windows are responsible for 25 to 30% of residential heating and cooling energy use. For commercial buildings with large glass facades, that number can be even higher. Before we dive deep into the solution, a quick but important note. The figures and potential savings discussed in this video are based on industry averages and case studies. Your actual results will absolutely depend on your specific climate zone, building orientation, glass type, and local utility rates. This presentation is for informational purposes only, designed to open your eyes to the possibilities. Now let's get back to those windows. We see them as a source of natural light, a view to the outside world. But in reality, untreated glass is a thermal weak point in your building's armor. It's an open gate for the sun's relentless solar energy to flood in, forcing your cooling systems into overdrive all summer long. Then in the winter, it's a one-way street for your expensive, heated air to escape into the cold. You are literally paying to heat and cool the sidewalk. This is where we flip the script. We are going to expose this hidden vulnerability and show you how to transform it into one of your company's greatest strengths. We're talking about one of the most powerful, yet consistently overlooked, upgrades a business can make: professional commercial window tinting. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Window tint? Isn't that the dark, bubbly purple film you see on a beat-up car from 1995? Let's be crystal clear. That is not what we are talking about. Modern architectural window film is a technological marvel. It's a sophisticated, multi-layered product engineered to precise specifications, and in many cases, it's virtually invisible once installed. It's not about making your building look like it's wearing sunglasses. It's about giving it a suit of high-performance armor that pays for itself. So, over the next several minutes, we're going to break down the 3 core pillars of value that commercial window film delivers, and I promise you by the end of this, you will never look at a pane of glass the same way again. The first pillar, and for many business owners the most important one, is the staggering financial benefit. This is about pure, unadulterated return on investment. Let's start with the most obvious win: a dramatic reduction in your energy costs. Imagine your HVAC system is a soldier in a constant battle. In the summer, its enemy is the sun's solar heat. Without window film, your windows are wide-open doors, letting the enemy army pour in relentlessly. Your HVAC soldier has to fight with everything it's got 24/7 just to maintain a stalemate. It's exhausting, it's inefficient, and it's incredibly expensive. High-quality solar control window film acts like a shield. It can reject up to 86% of the sun's heat-generating infrared light before it ever enters your building. This isn't just a small tweak. This is fundamentally changing the battlefield. Suddenly, your HVAC system isn't fighting a war. It's on patrol. It cycles on less frequently, it runs for shorter periods, and the impact on your utility bill can be immediate and profound. We're talking about potential savings of up to 30% on your cooling costs alone. For a large building, that can translate to thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars every single year. But the savings don't stop there. What's the number one cause of failure for a commercial HVAC unit? Constant, excessive strain. By reducing that workload, you are extending the operational life of one of the most expensive pieces of equipment in your building. You're pushing off that massive capital expenditure of a full replacement for years, saving you a fortune in premature repair and replacement costs. And here's something many businesses in the United States are just waking up to, thanks to recent legislation like the Inflation Reduction Act. Installing certain types of energy-efficient window film can make you eligible for significant federal tax credits. You're not just saving money month to month. The government may literally pay you to make this upgrade. It's a financial grand slam. The second pillar is all about your most valuable asset, your people. Let's go back to that office. The glare on computer screens is more than just an annoyance. It's a productivity killer. It causes eye strain, fatigue, and headaches, leading to more breaks, more mistakes, and a general decline in focus and efficiency. Window film is the ultimate solution, cutting down that harsh, disruptive glare by up to 90% without casting your office into darkness. It's like giving your entire team a perfectly calibrated, building-wide screen filter. Suddenly, they can see their work clearly, their eyes are comfortable, and their ability to concentrate skyrockets. Then there's the issue of thermal comfort. Untreated windows create hot spots, areas where the temperature is significantly higher than the rest of the room. This leads to the endless thermostat wars, where one person is roasting while another is freezing. This constant discomfort is a major distraction. Commercial window film equalizes the temperature throughout your space, eliminating those hot and cold spots. It creates a more stable, predictable, and comfortable environment for everyone. And what happens when your employees are comfortable? Their morale improves. Their focus sharpens. They are more collaborative and more productive. Investing in their comfort is a direct investment in your company's output. You create a workspace people actually want to be in, which in today's competitive labor market, is a powerful advantage for attracting and retaining top talent. The third and final pillar is protection. This is the unseen shield that works for you around the clock. The same sun that heats your building is also blasting it with harmful ultraviolet radiation. UV rays are the primary cause of fading. Over time, they bleach and degrade everything in their path. Your expensive office furniture, your carefully selected artwork, your hardwood floors, your retail merchandise in the storefront. It's a slow, silent process of destruction. Modern window film is like applying SPF 100 sunscreen to your entire building. It blocks over 99% of those damaging UV rays, preserving the color, life, and value of your interiors for years to come. Think of the replacement costs you'll avoid on flooring, furniture, and inventory. It's a massive long-term saving. But the protection goes even further into the realm of safety and security. Standard glass is incredibly vulnerable. A brick, a crowbar, or a severe weather event can shatter it in an instant, allowing for immediate entry for criminals or creating a dangerous shower of glass shards. This is where safety and security films come in. These are thicker, tougher films that are bonded to the glass with a powerful adhesive. When the glass is struck, it may crack and spiderweb, but the film holds all the pieces together in the frame. For a potential thief, this is a game changer. The smash and grab becomes a smash and pound. It creates a significant delay and a huge amount of noise, which is often enough to make them give up and move on. It's an incredibly effective, 24/7 deterrent. In areas prone to hurricanes or tornadoes, this same technology can be life-saving, preventing broken glass from becoming deadly projectiles during a storm. It reinforces your building's weakest points, protecting your people and your property when it matters most. So to recap, we're looking at a single investment that cuts your energy bills, extends the life of your equipment, improves employee productivity and morale, protects your assets from sun damage, and strengthens your building against break-ins and severe weather. This isn't just about tinting windows. This is a comprehensive business optimization strategy. And the cornerstone of that strategy, the single biggest and fastest return on investment you will see, is a direct assault on your number one hidden expense: energy consumption. For most businesses in the United States, especially those with significant window space, the monthly utility bill feels like an uncontrollable force of nature. In the summer, the HVAC system runs non-stop, a roaring beast in the basement or on the roof, devouring electricity and spitting out enormous bills. In the winter, you're fighting a losing battle against heat escaping through those same panes of glass. You budget for it, you accept it, but deep down you know there has to be a better way. You see it as the cost of doing business. But what if I told you that a huge portion of that cost is completely unnecessary waste? Let's talk about solar heat gain. It's a simple concept that has a devastating effect on your bottom line. Your windows, especially older, untreated ones, act like a massive magnifying glass for the sun. They let in visible light, which is great, but they also let in infrared and ultraviolet radiation, which are the primary culprits of heat. This solar energy pours into your building all day long, gets trapped, and raises the internal temperature. Your thermostat, completely unaware of the cause, just knows it's getting hot. So it kicks the air conditioning into overdrive, trying to cool a room that's simultaneously being heated by a relentless solar furnace. It's like trying to bail out a boat with a hole in it, while someone is actively pouring in more water. You're fighting a battle you can't win, and you're paying dearly for every minute of it. Consider a typical office building in a city like Dallas, Texas during a July afternoon. The sun beats down on the western-facing side of the building. Inside, employees in the corner offices are closing the blinds, trying to block out the blinding glare and oppressive heat. They're complaining it's 10 degrees hotter at their desks than it is by the elevators. Meanwhile, employees on the shaded side of the building are putting on sweaters because the AC is blasting Arctic air to compensate for the hot spots on the other side. You have a building at war with itself. You're paying to cool one side and inadvertently freezing the other. The result? Uncomfortable employees, inconsistent temperatures, and an HVAC system that is being strained to its breaking point, dramatically shortening its lifespan and leading to expensive repairs. This is where commercial window film completely changes the game. Modern architectural window films are a marvel of material science. We're not talking about the bubbly purple tint you see on old cars. We're talking about technologically advanced films, many of which are virtually invisible to the naked eye. These films are spectrally selective, which is a fancy way of saying they are smart. They can differentiate between the different wavelengths of light. They allow the good stuff, the natural visible light that makes a space feel open and bright, to pass through. But they act as a powerful barrier against the bad stuff, rejecting up to 80% of the sun's infrared heat and 99% of its damaging ultraviolet rays. Let's translate that into dollars and cents. The U.S. Department of Energy estimates that businesses can save as much as 30% on their cooling costs by installing high-performance window film. Let's pause on that for a second. 30%. Look at your last summer utility bill. Calculate 30% of the cooling portion. Now multiply that by the number of hot months in your area. The number you're looking at is the money you are literally throwing out the window every single year. For a small retail shop, that could be a few $1,000s. For a mid-sized office building, we're talking tens of thousands. For a large commercial complex or a high-rise, it can easily run into the hundreds of thousands of dollars annually. The return on investment is often shockingly fast. Many businesses find that the energy savings alone pay for the entire cost of the window film installation in as little as 2 to 5 years. After that payback period, it's pure profit. It's a passive recurring savings that drops directly to your bottom line, year after year, for the life of the film, which is often warranted for 10 to 15 years or more. Think about that. What other capital improvement project offers that kind of rapid and sustained ROI? A new roof? New flooring? A renovated lobby? None of them actively put money back into your pocket every single month. Window film does. It turns your biggest liability, your glass, into a powerful money-saving asset. And the benefits aren't just limited to the summer. While the primary function is blocking heat from entering, many films also provide an insulating layer that helps in the winter. They reduce the amount of radiant heat that escapes through the glass, keeping your heated air inside where it belongs. This reduces the workload on your heating system, saving you money on the other end of the calendar. It's a year-round solution for energy efficiency. But let's step away from the raw numbers and talk about the immediate, tangible effects you and your people will feel. Remember those hot spots in the Dallas office? Gone. With window film installed, the temperature throughout the space becomes remarkably consistent. The corner office is no longer an oven. The area by the large storefront windows is no longer a no-go zone for customers. This creates a more comfortable, more usable space. Employees are more productive when they aren't distracted by being too hot or too cold. They aren't fighting over the thermostat or bringing in personal fans and heaters that throw your entire system out of whack. For customer-facing businesses like restaurants or retail stores, the impact is even more direct. A customer who walks into your establishment and is immediately hit by a wall of heat or blinded by glare is not going to stay long. They won't browse. They won't order that extra dessert or coffee. They'll get what they need and leave as quickly as possible. By creating a comfortable, glare-free environment, you encourage them to linger. They stay longer, they spend more, and they leave with a positive impression of your business, making them more likely to return. You've improved the customer experience in a fundamental way, and it all started with treating your windows. You might be thinking, this sounds great, but I don't want my building to look dark. I want to preserve my view and the architectural design. This is one of the most common misconceptions. The reality is that modern window films come in a vast range of shades and technologies. You can choose a film that is so clear you won't even know it's there. These spectrally selective films I mentioned are perfect for businesses that want to maintain their natural light and views while still getting powerful heat rejection. On the other hand, if you do want to add a bit of privacy, reduce glare, or create a more uniform, sleek look for your building's exterior, there are films for that too. You can choose from neutral tones, reflective options, or even decorative films that can incorporate logos or patterns. The aesthetic control is entirely in your hands. It's not a one-size-fits-all product. It's a custom solution tailored to your building's specific needs and your business's brand identity. This assault on energy waste is the first, most financially compelling reason to consider commercial window tinting. It's a strategic investment that slashes a major operating expense, pays for itself quickly, and then continues to generate savings for years to come. It improves the working environment for your employees and the experience for your customers. It reduces the strain on your expensive HVAC equipment, saving you on maintenance and replacement costs down the road. But this incredible financial benefit is, believe it or not, just the beginning. The sun isn't just attacking your utility bill. It's waging a quiet, relentless war on everything inside your building. The very same solar radiation that heats up your space is also causing irreversible damage. What about the invisible damage the sun is doing every single day, not just to your energy bill, but to your valuable assets, your merchandise, your furniture, and even the health of your people? Let's break down that invisible damage piece by piece, starting with the one that hits your bottom line the hardest: your assets. Every single product you display, every piece of merchandise you put in front of a window, is under a relentless assault. Think of the sun's ultraviolet rays, or UV rays, as a microscopic army of tiny wrecking balls. You can't see them, you can't feel them, but they are constantly bombarding every surface they touch. They are specifically designed by nature to break down chemical bonds. That's their job. And when they hit the dyes in fabric, the pigments in paint, or the polymers in plastic, they begin to tear those bonds apart. The result? Fading. It's a slow, silent process of destruction. Consider a high-end clothing boutique on a sunny street. The owner places a stunning, vibrant red designer dress in the front window to attract customers. For the first week, it looks incredible. But day after day, that microscopic army of UV rays is hammering away at the dye molecules in that fabric. The red begins to lose its depth. It becomes a little less vibrant. After a few weeks, it's a noticeably duller shade. After a month, it might look like a completely different, cheaper dress. Now, that premium item, which should have yielded a healthy profit, has to be moved to the sale rack. It's sold at a steep discount, or worse, written off as a complete loss. The very window that was meant to be a tool for marketing has become a liability, actively devaluing the store's most valuable inventory. This isn't just about clothing. Imagine an art gallery. The delicate pigments in a painting or a photograph are incredibly susceptible to UV damage. A print that was once rich with deep blues and vivid yellows can become a washed-out, pale imitation of itself in a matter of months. The artist's vision is literally erased by the sun. Or think about a furniture showroom. That beautiful, top-grain leather sofa sitting by the window? UV rays dry out the natural oils in the leather, causing it to become brittle, to crack, and to fade unevenly. The rich walnut finish on a dining room table gets bleached into a pale, sickly yellow where the sun hits it every afternoon. Every business with a physical product is at risk. A bookstore owner watches the covers of their bestsellers turn pale and unappealing. A flooring company sees the wood samples in their showroom warp and discolor, no longer matching the products in their warehouse. Even a grocery store manager notices the labels on packaged goods fading, making them look old and less appealing to customers. This is a constant, hidden drain on profits. It's death by 1,000 cuts. You're forced to rotate stock constantly, not because it isn't selling, but because the sun is destroying it before it has a chance to. You're discounting perfectly good products simply because their appearance has been compromised. The cost of this damage, when added up over a year across all your locations, can be staggering. It's a phantom expense that never appears on a spreadsheet under sun damage, but it's there, eating away at your margins every single day the sun is out. And this destruction isn't limited to the things you sell. It extends to the very environment you've invested tens, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to create, your interior space. The professional image you project, the welcoming atmosphere you cultivate, it's all being systematically dismantled by the sun. That plush, expensive carpeting you had installed in the reception area? Near the windows, it's likely a shade or two lighter than the carpet in the center of the room, creating an ugly, patchy effect that screams worn out. The beautiful hardwood floors in the executive offices? They can start to bleach and dry out, leading to splintering and costly refinishing years before it should be necessary. Think about the paint on your walls, the upholstery on your office chairs, the finish on your desks and conference tables. All of it is being slowly, methodically degraded. It's a form of accelerated aging for your entire facility. You spend a fortune on interior design to create a specific look and feel, a brand identity. And the sun, your invisible enemy, works tirelessly to undo it all, forcing you into a cycle of premature renovation and replacement. The cost to repaint, recarpet, and refurnish a commercial space is enormous. By allowing unchecked UV radiation into your building, you are essentially shortening the lifespan of every single interior asset you own, guaranteeing you'll have to pay to replace them much sooner than you planned. It's like buying a brand new car and leaving it parked in the desert sun 24/7. You wouldn't do that, so why are you letting it happen to your much larger investment, your place of business? But the damage to your merchandise and your interiors, as costly as it is, pales in comparison to the most important asset you have inside your building. Your people. The health, comfort, and productivity of your employees and customers. We've all been told to wear sunscreen when we go outside to protect our skin. Why? To block UV radiation. The same radiation that is flooding through your office windows all day long, every day of the year. Standard window glass, the kind found in most commercial buildings, is decent at blocking one type of UV ray, UVB, the one primarily responsible for sunburn. But it does almost nothing to stop UVA rays. UVA rays are the more insidious threat. They penetrate deeper into the skin and are the primary driver of photoaging, wrinkles, sunspots, and loss of skin elasticity. More alarmingly, they are a significant contributor to the development of skin cancer, including the most dangerous form, melanoma. An employee who sits next to a large untreated window for years is receiving a consistent, daily dose of UVA radiation. A study published in the Journal of the American Academy of Dermatology found that nearly 53% of skin cancers in the U.S. occur on the left, or driver's side, of the body, correlating with sun exposure while driving. Now imagine that same effect, but for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, in an office. You have a legal and ethical responsibility to provide a safe working environment for your team. Unfiltered sunlight presents a clear and documented long-term health risk that most business owners have never even considered. Beyond the catastrophic risk of cancer, there's the daily impact on well-being and productivity. This same solar radiation bombarding your space contributes massively to eye strain and fatigue. The human eye struggles to cope with intense points of light and high-contrast environments, like a bright window next to a darker computer screen. This continuous effort leads to tired eyes, headaches, and an overall feeling of being drained. An employee suffering from these symptoms is not going to be performing at their best. Their focus wanes, their productivity drops, and their job satisfaction plummets. They might not even know why they feel so tired and irritable at the end of the day. They just know that working in that space is uncomfortable. So we have this invisible force that is simultaneously devaluing your products, destroying your interiors, and posing a genuine health risk to your people. It seems like an unstoppable problem, as unstoppable as the sun itself. But what if it wasn't? What if there was a shield? A transparent, undetectable barrier that you could apply to your existing windows to stop this destructive force dead in its tracks? This is the first, and perhaps most crucial, benefit of modern commercial window film. It's not just about making windows dark. High-quality spectrally selective films can be virtually clear, preserving your views in natural light, while blocking up to 99.9% of all UVA and UVB radiation. Think of it as applying SPF 1000 to every single window in your building. The moment it's installed, that relentless army of microscopic wrecking balls is neutralized. Your merchandise is protected. The colors stay vibrant. Your furniture, your flooring, your paint, their lifespan is immediately extended. And most importantly, you create a safer, healthier environment for every single person who walks through your doors. You are mitigating a serious health risk and showing your employees that you genuinely care about their well-being. This isn't just an upgrade. It's a fundamental shift in how you protect your most valuable assets. You've stopped the invisible destroyer. But what about the visible enemy? The one that causes those daily headaches, kills productivity, and makes entire sections of your office unusable at certain times of day? I'm talking about glare. And the way it drains your bottom line is something you can see every single day, even if you don't realize what it's costing you. Let's put a number on it. Let's make it real. Picture your most productive team, the one that drives the most revenue. Now, imagine one of those key employees, let's call him David. David sits near a window, a prime spot, you thought. But from 2 to 5 p.m. every single day, the sun turns his dual monitor setup into a pair of blinding mirrors. So what does he do? He squints. He shifts in his chair. He gets up to get water, not because he's thirsty, but because his eyes are burning. He tries to angle his screen, but that just messes with his posture, leading to a nagging pain in his neck by the end of the week. Each of these actions is a micro-interruption, a tiny break in the chain of concentration. And in today's economy, concentration, that deep, uninterrupted flow state, is the currency of high-value work. A study from the University of California, Irvine, found that it takes, on average, over 23 minutes to get back on task after an interruption. David isn't just getting interrupted by an email or a coworker. He's being interrupted by the sun again and again and again. His focus is being shattered into a dozen pieces every afternoon. Now, multiply David's experience by every employee sitting near a window. The graphic designer struggling to see true colors on her screen. The accountant trying to read a dense spreadsheet, fighting a headache that started an hour ago. The sales team in the conference room, forced to close the blinds and sit in a dark, stuffy room just to see the quarterly projections on the projector screen. This isn't just a minor annoyance. It is a company-wide productivity plague. It's a silent killer of focus, creativity, and ultimately profit. And the physical toll is just as costly. The American Optometric Association has a name for this: computer vision syndrome or digital eye strain. Its symptoms include headaches, blurred vision, dry eyes, and neck and shoulder pain. Sound familiar? It's the daily reality for millions of office workers. And what does an employee in physical discomfort do? They take more breaks. They use more sick days. Their morale plummets. They become less engaged, less loyal. In a competitive job market where businesses are fighting to retain top talent, forcing your team to work in a physically uncomfortable environment is like handing them an application for your biggest competitor. You are literally creating a reason for your best people to leave. But the most direct, most insultingly obvious way glare is costing you money is in your real estate. Take a look at your floor plan. You pay for 100% of that square footage. You pay the lease, the utilities, the insurance on every single inch of that space. Now look at the areas next to the windows. How much of that prime real estate becomes a no-go zone for half the day? That beautiful corner office with the panoramic view? The one you use to impress clients? It's useless if you have to pull the blinds down, turning it into a dark box just to have a meeting. That collaborative space you designed by the south-facing windows to foster innovation? It's empty every afternoon because it feels like working on the surface of the sun. Let's do some simple, brutal math. Imagine you have a 10,000 square foot office, and your annual lease is, say, $40 per square foot. That's $400,000 a year. Now let's be conservative and say that glare makes just 15% of your office, the most valuable real estate with the best views, uncomfortable or unusable for 4 hours out of an 8-hour workday. That 15% of your space is effectively operating at only 50% capacity. You're paying full price for that 1,500 square feet, but you're only getting half the value. That's a loss of $30,000 every single year. Wasted, gone, thrown away on space your employees actively avoid. You are literally paying a premium for unusable air. Now, the knee-jerk reaction, the solution most businesses have relied on for decades, is blinds or shades. It seems logical, right? Block the sun. Problem solved. But it's not solved. You've just traded one massive problem for another, arguably worse one. When you pull down the blinds, you don't just block the glare. You block the view. You block the natural light. You sever your employees' connection to the outside world. You plunge your expensive, beautifully designed office into a state of artificial, depressing gloom. The energy of the office immediately dies. The atmosphere becomes stagnant, cave-like. And you've killed the very thing that makes window-side offices desirable in the first place. That view isn't just a perk. It's a powerful tool for mental well-being. Studies have repeatedly shown that access to natural light and views of the outdoors reduces stress, improves mood, and increases happiness. By installing blinds, you are choosing to systematically deprive your team of these benefits. You're telling them, we'd rather you work in a dungeon than deal with the sun. Furthermore, blinds are a false economy. They are a constant source of maintenance. They get dusty and dirty, contributing to poor air quality. The cords break. The slats bend. They become an eyesore. and they create a binary all-or-nothing choice. Either you are blinded by the sun, or you are sitting in the dark. There is no in-between. There is no nuance. It's a clumsy, outdated solution to a modern problem. It's like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. Let's go back to the productivity numbers for a moment, because this is where the hidden costs truly become staggering. A landmark study by the World Green Building Council found that better views and access to natural light can improve productivity by up to 18%. Let's not even use that number. Let's be incredibly conservative. Let's say the constant battle with glare, the distractions, the eye strain, the headaches, causes a mere 5% drop in productivity for the employees affected. Now, think about an employee with an annual salary of $60,000. A 5% loss in their productivity costs your company $3,000 per year for that one employee. If you have 20 employees sitting near windows, that's $60,000 in lost productivity. 50 employees? That's $150,000. Annually. That's not an abstract number. That is the salary of 2 or 3 new employees. That is your entire marketing budget. That is the profit you needed to expand into a new market. It's a massive, invisible leak in your company's finances, and it's all caused by something as simple as uncontrolled sunlight. We've established that glare is draining your productivity, harming your employees' health and morale, turning your most valuable real estate into dead space, and that the traditional solution of blinds actually makes the work environment worse, not better. You're bleeding money from a dozen different wounds, all while your team is growing more and more frustrated. You are trapped in a dilemma. Suffer the glare, or retreat into the dark. Feels like a no-win situation. A fundamental flaw in the design of almost every modern office building. But what if this entire dilemma is based on a false premise? What if you don't have to choose between light and comfort? What if you could eliminate the glare without losing the view? What if you could solve the productivity drain, the health complaints, and the wasted space problem all at once with a single elegant solution that actually pays for itself? There is a third option, and it changes the entire equation. It allows you to finally harness the power of natural light, turning what was once a liability into your business's greatest asset. This third option isn't a compromise. It's a technological leap forward. It's not about blocking the sun, it's about filtering it. It's called Advanced Solar Control Window Film, and it's one of the most powerful, yet overlooked upgrades any business can make. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Window tint. You're picturing that dark, bubbly purple film on a beat-up sedan from the 90s. Forget everything you think you know. Today's commercial window films are to that what a smartphone is to a rotary dial phone. They are sophisticated, multi-layered marvels of material science, engineered with a singular purpose: to give you precise control over the solar energy entering your building. Let's break down how this invisible technology achieves such a massive impact. Sunlight is made up of a spectrum of energy. There's the light we see called visible light. There's ultraviolet light, or UV, the invisible rays that cause sunburns and fade your furniture. And then there's infrared light, or IR, which is the part of the spectrum we feel as heat. For decades, the problem was that you couldn't get rid of the bad stuff, the heat and the UV, without also getting rid of the good stuff, the natural light. It was an all-or-nothing deal. The old, dark tints were basically just blunt instruments. They blocked everything, plunging your space into a gloomy twilight and forcing you to turn on more artificial lights, which, ironically, use more energy and create more heat. It was a self-defeating cycle. But modern, spectrally selective films changed the game. The name sounds complex, but the concept is beautifully simple. These films are engineered at a microscopic level to be selective about which parts of the sun's spectrum they allow to pass through. Think of it like a highly advanced bouncer at the most exclusive club in town. The visible light? That's the VIP. It gets waved right on through, keeping your space bright and welcoming. But the infrared heat? That's the troublemaker trying to crash the party. The film identifies it and rejects it at the door, blocking up to 97% of the heat-producing IR rays from ever entering your building. And the destructive UV radiation? It doesn't even make it to the velvet rope. The film blocks over 99% of it, acting as a powerful sunscreen for your entire interior. The result is almost magical. You get a flood of beautiful, natural, visible light, but without the oppressive heat and without the damaging UV rays. Your windows, once a massive source of thermal inefficiency, are transformed into a passive, intelligent cooling system. Let's make this real. Imagine a business owner. Let's call her Maria. She runs a successful architectural firm in a gleaming office tower in Austin, Texas. Her space has floor-to-ceiling windows, a key selling point for attracting top talent. But it's a double-edged sword. From May to September, the west-facing side of her office becomes an oven by 3 p.m. The AC runs on full blast, sounding like a jet engine. Yet her employees are still constantly adjusting their seats to escape the intense heat and blinding glare on their computer screens. Productivity plummets in the afternoon. Her monthly energy bills are staggering, eating directly into her profit margin. She's tried closing the blinds, but that defeats the whole purpose of having those beautiful windows. It makes the office feel like a cave and morale drops. She feels completely stuck. Then she invests in a high-performance, spectrally selective window film. The installation is quick, non-disruptive, and from the inside, the film is virtually invisible. The change, however, is not. The very next afternoon, the west-facing side of the office is still bright, but it's no longer hot. The oppressive heat is just gone. The glare on the computer screens has been dramatically reduced. Her team can work comfortably right next to the windows all day long. The office is quieter because the AC unit isn't fighting a losing battle against the sun anymore. Cycles on and off like it's supposed to. And then her first post-installation energy bill arrives. She opens it, expecting the usual gut punch. Instead, her jaw drops. Her cooling costs have been slashed by 32%. 32%. She does the math. The energy savings alone will pay for the entire installation in just under 3 years. After that, it's pure savings, thousands of dollars dropping straight to her bottom line, year after year after year. Maria didn't just buy a product. She invested in a permanent upgrade to her building's performance. She solved her team's comfort and productivity issues, and she turned a major operational expense into a financial asset. This isn't just a story for a glass tower in Texas. This applies to almost any business, anywhere in the United States. For a retail store on a sunny Main Street, it means protecting thousands of dollars of merchandise in the storefront display from fading into oblivion. It means customers can browse comfortably without being blasted by heat the moment they walk in the door. For a restaurant with a patio view, it means diners at the window seats aren't squinting from glare or asking to be moved, improving their experience and turning tables faster. For a hotel, it means guest rooms stay cooler, reducing energy load across hundreds of rooms and drastically improving guest comfort. And here's a critical point that many business owners in cooler climates miss. This technology works for you year-round. While solar control films are exceptional at rejecting heat in the summer, a different category, known as low-E or low-emissivity films, does something even more brilliant in the winter. They work in reverse. In the colder months, your expensive heated indoor air migrates towards the coldest surface it can find, your windows, and escapes. Low-E films have an insulating property that reflects that indoor heat back into the room, preventing it from escaping. So in the summer, the film keeps the heat out. In the winter, it keeps the heat in. It's a two-way solution that provides energy savings every single day of the year, whether you're in Phoenix, Arizona, or Buffalo, New York. This is the paradigm shift. You stop seeing your windows as a vulnerability and start seeing them as an opportunity. An opportunity to slash one of your biggest variable costs. An opportunity to create a more comfortable, productive, and pleasant environment for your employees and customers. An opportunity to increase the value and performance of your property with a one-time investment that delivers returns for decades. It's not about spending money on a fix. It's about making a strategic investment in a technology that actively generates a return. The question is no longer, can I afford to do this? The real question, when you look at the relentless drain of high energy costs, is, can I afford not to? The financial return on investment is undeniable. A clear-cut, black and white calculation you can take to the bank. But what if I told you that slashing your energy bill was only the beginning? What if this same invisible layer of film could do more than just manage the sun? What if it could turn your building's most vulnerable entry point into a shield? The financial benefits are incredible, but the peace of mind that comes next, that's priceless. Because in today's world, a business isn't just a place of commerce. It's a sanctuary for your employees, a vault for your assets, and the physical manifestation of your life's work. And the single largest point of failure in that entire structure? It's the glass. We think of it as a window to the world, but for a criminal, it's a doorway. For a hurricane, it's a weak point. For a simple accident, it's a source of dangerous projectiles. Imagine this for a moment. It's 3 in the morning. You're asleep, but your business sits quiet, dark, and vulnerable. A hooded figure approaches your storefront. He's not a master thief from the movies. He's an opportunist. He's got a brick or a crowbar or a spark plug. A simple tool to shatter glass in an instant. He's counting on a few seconds. Smash, grab, and go. He winds up, he throws, and the glass cracks. It spiders into 1,000 fractures, but it doesn't collapse. It doesn't explode inward. It holds. The brick just thuds against the window and falls to the ground. Confused, he hits it again. And again. The glass flexes, it groans, but the window remains a solid barrier. Every strike, every second that passes, is another second he's exposed. The alarm is now screaming, lights are flashing. The easy smash and grab has turned into a noisy, difficult, time-consuming struggle. And time is the one thing he doesn't have. He gives up and runs, leaving your inventory, your equipment, and your business untouched. That's not science fiction. That is the reality of modern safety and security window films. This isn't the same film we talked about for blocking heat. While they often include the same solar control properties, these films are a different beast entirely. They are thicker, engineered with multiple layers of heavy-duty polyester, and bonded to the glass with a uniquely aggressive adhesive. This combination creates a powerful synergy. The film doesn't make the glass unbreakable. That's a common misconception. Instead, it does something far more important. It holds the broken pieces together. Think of it like a seatbelt for your windows. A seatbelt doesn't prevent a car crash, but it holds you securely in place, preventing you from being thrown through the windshield and turning a potentially fatal event into a survivable one. Security film does the same for your glass. When an impact shatters the pane, the film acts like an invisible high-tensile net, gripping every last shard and holding the window in its frame. The glass is broken, but the barrier remains. This single capability creates a multi-layered defense against a surprising number of threats, far beyond the petty thief with a brick. Let's start with forced entry. The FBI reports that nearly 60% of all burglaries involve forced entry, and the most common point of entry, a first-floor window or door. Criminals rely on speed and stealth. Security film obliterates both. By delaying entry, you're not just making it harder, you're making it riskier. That delay, even if it's just 30 to 60 seconds, is often enough to make a criminal abandon the attempt altogether and seek an easier target. Your business is no longer the path of least resistance. But the threats aren't always so dramatic. Consider vandalism. For a storefront in a busy urban area, graffiti can be a constant, costly battle. A single act of acid etching or spray paint tagging can mean replacing a massive, expensive plate of glass. But with a special type of optically clear anti-graffiti film, that problem vanishes. The film acts as a sacrificial, invisible shield. When a vandal strikes, they're not damaging your $1,000 window. They're damaging a relatively inexpensive layer of film. You don't call a glazier for a full replacement. You simply have the film peeled off and a new layer applied in a fraction of the time and for a fraction of the cost. Your business is back to looking pristine in hours, not days. Then we scale up the threat level. Let's talk about Mother Nature. Every year, businesses across the United States face the wrath of hurricanes, tornadoes, and severe storms. The number one danger in these events isn't the wind itself. It's the debris the wind carries. A piece of flying wood, a loose sign, even gravel can become a bullet, shattering windows and letting the destructive high-pressure winds inside. Once the building's envelope is breached, the pressure differential can lift the roof right off, leading to catastrophic structural failure. More immediately, the interior is exposed to torrential rain and flying glass shrapnel, which can destroy inventory, ruin electronics, and cause severe injury. Safety film is your frontline defense. It keeps that window sealed, even after it's been broken by debris. It maintains the building's envelope, preventing the wind and rain from getting in and protecting everything and everyone inside. In coastal regions prone to hurricanes or in the Midwest tornado alley, this isn't a luxury. It's a critical component of a disaster preparedness plan that protects your people and your investment. And at the highest end of the spectrum, there's blast mitigation. It's a terrifying thought, but it's a reality for government buildings, high-profile corporate headquarters, and critical infrastructure. In an explosion, the shockwave shatters glass, turning it into a storm of dagger-like projectiles traveling at hundreds of miles per hour. Studies have shown that these flying shards are a leading cause of injury and death in a blast event. Specially designed blast mitigation films, often used with frame anchoring systems, are engineered and tested to withstand these extreme forces. They are designed to stretch and absorb the explosive energy, keeping the glass fragments contained and preventing that deadly shrapnel from entering the building. It's an invisible bodyguard, standing silent watch over your most valuable assets, your people. So let's bring this back down to your balance sheet. What is the tangible return on this investment in security? First, there's deterrence. You've made your business a hard target, and that alone can prevent an incident from ever happening. Second, there's direct loss prevention. You're protecting against theft of merchandise, damage to your property, and the high cost of replacing specialized or custom glass. Third, there's business continuity. After a storm or a vandalism incident, you're not shut down for a week waiting on repairs. You can secure the opening, clean up, and get back to serving your customers, minimizing your downtime and lost revenue. And don't forget insurance. Many insurance providers recognize the risk-reducing power of professionally installed, certified safety and security films. They may offer significant discounts on your premiums, allowing the film to start paying for itself from day one. But beyond all the numbers, beyond the cost-benefit analysis, is the core benefit we started with: peace of mind. Knowing that you've taken a proactive, powerful step to protect your employees, your customers, and your livelihood from the unexpected. You've essentially upgraded your building's weakest link without changing its appearance. You've added a layer of resilience that works 24/7, silently protecting against everything from a stray baseball to a deliberate attack. We've now shielded our business from the sun's costly energy and from a host of physical threats. But what about the threats you can't see? What about protecting the privacy of a sensitive meeting in a conference room? Or creating an environment that not only feels safe, but also looks and feels exclusive, professional, and on-brand? The same core technology that can stop a brick can also be used to control what people see, and what they don't. It can turn a plain glass wall into a work of art, or a fishbowl office into a private sanctuary. Let's talk about that fishbowl. The modern office, with its open floor plans and glass-walled conference rooms, was born from a desire for transparency and collaboration. A noble idea, but in practice, it often created a culture of constant distraction. It's hard to have a sensitive conversation with an employee when the entire sales team can see you through the glass. It's nearly impossible to focus on a critical project when you're making accidental eye contact with every person who walks down the hallway. The very design meant to foster connection often created anxiety and killed productivity. But what if you could have the best of both worlds? What if you could maintain that bright, open, light-filled aesthetic while giving your team the privacy they desperately need? This is where decorative and privacy films move from being a simple accessory to a strategic business tool. Imagine a gradient frost film applied to that conference room glass. At the bottom, it's completely clear, maintaining the sense of an open space. But as it rises to eye level for a seated person, it becomes progressively more opaque, creating a perfect visual barrier. People outside can see that the room is occupied, but they can't read the whiteboard or see the expressions on people's faces. The meeting inside is secure. The people walking by are no longer a distraction. You've solved the problem without building a single wall. You've reclaimed focus. This isn't just for conference rooms. Think about human resources offices, executive suites, or any space where confidential conversations happen. A simple, elegant frosted film provides total privacy day and night, while still allowing soft, diffused natural light to pour in. Compare this to the old solution, blinds. Blinds are dust magnets. They break. They're noisy, and when they're closed, they completely block the light, making a room feel like a cave. Film is a silent, clean, and sophisticated alternative that integrates directly into your existing architecture. But privacy is just one brushstroke in a much larger masterpiece. The real power of these films is in their ability to shape perception. Your physical space, your storefront, your lobby, your office. It's the first handshake you have with a potential customer or a new hire. Tells a story before you ever say a word. What story is your glass telling? Is it blank, generic, and forgettable? Or does it communicate your brand's identity with confidence and style? This is where custom-cut decorative films become a business owner's secret weapon for branding. Forget taping a paper sign with your hours to the door. Imagine your company logo, precision cut from a beautiful etched-look film, greeting every person who walks in. It's not a sticker. It looks like it was sandblasted directly into the glass by a master artisan. It whispers quality, permanence, and attention to detail. You can have your business hours, your tagline, or even intricate patterns that reflect your brand's aesthetic applied to any glass surface. Think of a high-end spa. They can use a film with a delicate, organic pattern, like bamboo or flowing water, on their interior glass partitions. It immediately creates a sense of tranquility and reinforces their brand promise of relaxation. Now think of a cutting-edge tech startup. They might use a film with a sharp, geometric pattern or a pixelated design to create a vibrant, innovative atmosphere. A law firm could use simple, elegant bands of frosted film to convey professionalism and discretion. The possibilities are limited only by your imagination. You're no longer just occupying a building, you're curating an experience. And the financial argument is staggering. To get a piece of glass custom-etched or sandblasted by a factory is incredibly expensive and permanent. A large pane could cost thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars. If you ever rebrand or move, that investment is lost. With decorative film, you can achieve the exact same high-end look for a tiny fraction of the cost. And the best part? It's completely reversible. If you decide to change your logo in 5 years, you're not replacing a $20,000 piece of glass. A professional installer can remove the old film and apply the new one in a matter of hours. It gives you the flexibility to evolve your brand without being locked into a permanent, expensive architectural decision. This flexibility opens up a world of creative marketing opportunities. Retail stores can use easily removable films to advertise seasonal promotions or sales. Instead of a cheap-looking poster, they can have a stunning full-window graphic that looks incredibly professional, and then peel it away when the promotion is over. Restaurants can use frosted films on their windows to create a more intimate dining experience, blocking the view of street traffic while still letting in light. They can even have their menu or specials elegantly displayed right on the glass. This technology can even solve design problems. Maybe you have a window that looks out onto an ugly brick wall or a cluttered alleyway. It's an eyesore that detracts from your interior space. You could cover it with blinds and lose the light, or you could apply a decorative film. There are films that look like stained glass, films with beautiful photographic murals, or simple opaque films that turn an ugly view into a clean, neutral design element. You've transformed a negative feature into a positive one. But let's push the boundaries even further. The most advanced form of this technology is called switchable smart film. And this is pure science fiction made real. Imagine a boardroom with floor-to-ceiling glass walls that look out over the entire office. With the flip of a switch, that perfectly clear glass instantly turns completely opaque. A liquid crystal layer inside the film reacts to an electrical current, aligning the crystals to be transparent or scattering them to be private. You can literally turn privacy on and off. It's the ultimate tool for a space that needs to be both a public showcase and a private inner sanctum. It creates a wow moment for clients and gives you unparalleled control over your environment. From solving the practical problem of the fishbowl office to making a powerful branding statement, decorative films are one of the most versatile and cost-effective tools a business can use. They allow you to control not just what people see, but how they feel when they're in your space. They can make a small retail shop feel like a high-end boutique. They can make a sterile corporate office feel warm and inviting. They can provide dignity and privacy in a medical clinic or a sense of awe in a tech boardroom. You are essentially painting with light and texture, using your existing glass as a canvas. You're telling your brand's story, solving practical privacy issues, and creating a memorable environment that sets you apart from the competition. You're turning a passive architectural feature, a simple window or a glass wall, into an active asset that works for your business 24 hours a day. It's about being intentional with every square inch of your space. But shaping the look and the privacy of your business is really just scratching the surface. What if the same technology could fundamentally change the way it feels to be inside that building? What if you could make your space not just more beautiful, but dramatically more comfortable, safer for your employees' health, and more energy efficient, all at the same time? The answer is a technology that's been hiding in plain sight. It's not a massive, expensive overhaul of your HVAC system. It's not a complete architectural redesign. It's an advanced paper-thin film, applied directly to your existing glass. This is the world of commercial window tinting, and it is one of the most powerful, multifaceted, and cost-effective upgrades you can make to any commercial property in the United States. It's the unsung hero of modern, efficient, and comfortable buildings. But here's what most people get wrong. They hear window tinting, and they immediately picture a dark, reflective, mirrored surface, or maybe the cheap, bubbly purple film on an old car. That's like comparing a flip phone to the latest smartphone. The technology has evolved into something incredibly sophisticated. Today's commercial window films are a diverse family of high-tech solutions, each engineered to solve a specific set of problems. So let's pull back the curtain and look at the different types of films you can choose from, because this is where you can truly customize a solution for your exact needs. First, and most famously, are the solar control films. These are the workhorses of the industry, the ones that directly attack your energy bills and comfort levels. Think of them as high-performance sunglasses for your entire building. Their primary mission is to be selective about what parts of the sun's energy get inside. They are masters of rejecting solar heat. We're talking about films that can block up to 80% of the sun's infrared heat from ever entering your space, without making the room dark. Imagine your west-facing offices, the ones that become unbearable infernos by 3 p.m., forcing your HVAC system to run on overdrive. Now, imagine those same offices being comfortable, usable spaces all day long. The thermostat isn't constantly being fought over. Your AC unit isn't screaming under the strain. The energy savings aren't just theoretical. They are dramatic and immediate. You'll see it on your very next utility bill. Beyond just heat, these films are champions of glare reduction. Glare is more than just an annoyance. It's a productivity killer. It causes eye strain, headaches, and makes it impossible to see computer screens, forcing employees to close the blinds, shut out the natural light, and turn on harsh artificial lighting. It completely defeats the purpose of having beautiful, large windows. A quality solar film can cut that debilitating glare by over 85%, creating a visually comfortable environment where your team can be productive and focused, all while still enjoying the view and the benefits of natural daylight. And maybe most importantly for the long term, these films are an invisible shield against ultraviolet radiation. UV rays are the silent destroyers. They are the primary cause of fading on your expensive office furniture, your carpets, your hardwood floors, and your valuable artwork. Over time, they degrade everything they touch. Modern solar films block 99.9% of these harmful UV rays. That's essentially total protection. This preserves your assets, extending the life of your interior furnishings and saving you thousands in replacement costs down the line. It also protects your people. We put on sunscreen when we go outside. This film is permanent sunscreen for your employees and clients while they're inside, protecting them from the cumulative effects of UV exposure. Next, we move into a category that provides a completely different kind of value: safety and security films. These films are engineered not for energy but for strength. They are thicker, tougher, and designed with one primary goal: to hold glass together when it breaks. Under normal circumstances, a window is your building's most vulnerable point. A brick, a crowbar, or a severe weather event can shatter it in an instant, sending dangerous shards flying and creating an easy entry point for intruders. Security film changes that equation entirely. It's like adding an invisible net of high-tensile strength across every pane of glass. When the window is struck, it may crack and spiderweb, but the film holds all of those dangerous pieces together in the frame. For a smash-and-grab burglar, this is a nightmare. Their goal is a quick, easy entry. When they strike the glass and it doesn't collapse, the element of surprise is gone. The noise continues, drawing attention, and the effort required to actually breach the window increases exponentially. More often than not, they simply give up and flee. It turns your weakest link into a formidable, time-consuming barrier. This same principle provides incredible protection during natural disasters. In a hurricane or a tornado, the most significant danger from windows is the glass becoming deadly projectiles. Security film mitigates this risk, keeping the glass shards contained and preventing wind and rain from violently entering the building and causing further catastrophic damage. It's not just about protecting property. It's about protecting people. It's about providing peace of mind for you as a business owner, knowing you've taken a crucial step to harden your facility against unforeseen events. Now, let's talk about aesthetics and branding with decorative and privacy films. This is where function meets high design. These films can completely transform the look and feel of an interior space. Think of those sleek, modern offices with glass-walled conference rooms. How do they achieve privacy without making it feel like a fishbowl? Often it's with frosted film. It allows light to pass through, keeping the space bright and open, but obscures the view, providing the necessary privacy for important meetings. You can get the elegant, high-end look of etched or sandblasted glass for a tiny fraction of the cost, and with infinite customizability. And it goes far beyond simple frost. Decorative films come in a staggering array of patterns, textures, and colors. You can create stripes, geometric designs, or even mimic the look of specialty glass. But the real power for businesses comes from custom-cut films. You can have your company logo, your mission statement, or any branding element precisely cut into the film, and applied to your entryway, your conference room walls, or your office partitions. It's an incredibly powerful way to reinforce your brand identity and create a professional, polished environment that impresses clients and boosts employee morale. It says you're a company that cares about the details. Finally, there's a highly practical and often overlooked category: anti-graffiti films. For any ground floor business, especially in an urban environment, vandalism is a constant and expensive threat. A single act of scratching or spray painting on a large pane of glass can mean thousands of dollars in replacement costs. Anti-graffiti film is a thick, clear, and optically invisible layer that acts as a sacrificial shield. It's applied to the exterior of your windows. If a vandal strikes, the damage is done to the film, not the expensive glass underneath. The maintenance crew can then simply peel off the damaged film and apply a new layer, quickly and inexpensively. What would have been a $4,000 glass replacement becomes a few $100 film replacement. It's a simple, brilliant solution that offers an incredible return on investment for any storefront, restaurant, or street-level office. So you see, this isn't a one-size-fits-all product. It's a suite of targeted solutions. You can combine them too. You might choose a solar control film for your sun-drenched upper floors, a clear security film for your ground floor windows, and a branded decorative film for your interior conference rooms. You're not just tinting your windows, you're strategically upgrading your building's performance, security, and aesthetics, piece by piece. We've seen the incredible technology and the different ways it can solve your biggest headaches, from sky-high energy bills to security vulnerabilities and a dated office aesthetic. But the most critical question for any business owner still remains: what does this actually mean for your bottom line? How do you calculate the return on investment? How long does it take for this upgrade to stop costing you money and start making you money? In the next part, we're going to break down the numbers. We'll look at real-world case studies and give you the tools to see exactly how this one upgrade can pay for itself far faster than you could ever imagine. Alright, let's talk about the bottom line. The return on investment. This is where the vague idea of benefits turns into cold, hard cash in your pocket. We're not dealing with hypotheticals here. We're talking about a proven, predictable financial model that works for businesses of every size, from a Main Street boutique to a downtown skyscraper. Let's start with a real-world scenario. Picture a small, independent coffee shop in Phoenix, Arizona. It's got a beautiful, big, south-facing storefront window. Great for visibility, terrible for the thermostat. In the summer, their air conditioner runs non-stop, fighting a losing battle against the relentless desert sun. The monthly energy bill from June to September is a staggering $1,200. Customers sitting by the window complain about the heat and glare, so they grab their coffee and leave. The beautiful pastries in the display case near the window? They have a shorter shelf life because of the heat. The vibrant art on the walls from a local artist? Starting to fade. This is a business bleeding money from a dozen tiny cuts, all caused by one window. Now, let's say the owner invests in a high-performance solar control window film. The total window area is about 500 square feet. At a typical cost of around $8 per square foot, the total investment is $4,000. That might sound like a lot for a small business, but let's watch what happens next. The very first month after installation, the new energy bill arrives. It's not $1,200, it's $850. That's a $350 saving. In 1 month, over the 4-month peak season, that's $1,400 right back in the owner's pocket. Just from the energy savings alone, the $4,000 investment will pay for itself in less than a year. But that's not the whole story. Not even close. Remember the customers who used to flee the window seats? Now those are the most popular tables in the shop. People are comfortable. They stay longer. They order a second latte, maybe a sandwich. That increased dwell time leads to a higher average ticket value. Let's be conservative and say sales increase by just 5%. For a shop doing $20,000 a month in revenue, that's an extra $1,000 in profit every single month. Now add that to the energy savings. We have $350 from the AC bill plus $1,000 in new profit. That's $1,350 a month. Suddenly, that $4,000 investment pays for itself in under 3 months. Everything after that is pure profit year after year. We haven't even factored in the money saved from not having to throw out sun-baked pastries, or the goodwill gained from displaying an artist's work without destroying it. This isn't a fluke. It's cause and effect. You control the sun, you control your environment, and you control your profitability. Now let's scale this up. Let's move from a small coffee shop to a 20-story office building in Miami, Florida. The problems are the same, just magnified 1,000 times over. The annual energy cost for cooling this glass giant is over $1 million. The HVAC system is a behemoth, constantly straining to maintain a balance, creating hot and cold spots all over the building. Productivity dips in the afternoon as employees near the windows get drowsy from the heat and glare. The company pays huge peak demand charges to the utility for using so much energy during the hottest part of the day. The building's management decides to tackle the problem at its source. The windows. They have 50,000 square feet of glass. They choose a modern, spectrally selective film that rejects a huge amount of heat without making the windows look dark or reflective. Because of the scale of the project, they get a better rate, say $6 per square foot. The total investment is $300,000. A major capital expenditure, right? But let's run the numbers. An independent energy audit projects that the film will reduce the building's annual cooling costs by 15%. 15% of $1 million is $150,000 every single year. So, based on energy savings alone, the payback period is exactly 2 years. In the world of commercial real estate, an upgrade that pays for itself in 24 months is an absolute no-brainer. But again, that's just the beginning of the ROI story. Because they're making a significant energy efficiency upgrade, the local utility company gives them a one-time rebate of $50,000. Instantly, their net cost drops to $250,000, and the payback period shrinks to just a year and 8 months. Now for the real game changer: employee productivity. Study after study, from Berkeley National Lab to the World Green Building Council, has shown that comfortable employees are more productive employees. When you eliminate glare on computer screens and reduce thermal discomfort, people can focus better, they make fewer errors, and they feel better about their work environment. Let's be incredibly conservative. Let's say this massive improvement in comfort leads to a mere 1% increase in productivity. This building has 500 employees, with an average loaded salary of $60,000 a year. The total annual payroll is $30 million. A 1% productivity gain on a $30 million payroll is an extra $300,000 of value per year. $300,000. The energy savings were $150,000. The productivity gain is double that. Combined, that's $450,000 of financial benefit every year, from a one-time $250,000 investment. The window film now pays for itself in less than 7 months. This is the hidden math that world-class facility managers and building owners understand. It's not about spending money on the windows. It's about investing in the single largest asset in the building, the people inside it. So how can you figure this out for your own business? You don't need a fancy consultant. You can do a back-of-the-napkin calculation right now. First, estimate your total window square footage. Just measure the height and width of your windows and add them all up. Second, get a rough idea of the cost. A safe range for quality commercial film and professional installation is between $6 and $12 per square foot. Call a local reputable installer for a free estimate to get a real number. Third, look at your energy bills, specifically your summer electricity bills. As a conservative rule of thumb, a good solar control film can reduce the cooling portion of your bill by up to 30%. Figure out what that means in dollars and cents per month. Fourth, and this is crucial, think beyond the utility bill. How much inventory have you lost to sun fading this year? What would a 5% increase in customer comfort be worth? What is a 1% productivity gain from your staff worth? Assign a real dollar value to these things. Finally, do a quick online search for your electric company plus commercial energy rebates. You might be sitting on thousands of dollars in incentives that you never knew existed. Add up your total annual savings, energy, productivity, rebates, saved inventory, and divide your total investment cost by that number. The result is your payback period. For most U.S. businesses, that number is shockingly low, often falling between 1 and 3 years. Once you see the numbers in black and white, tailored to your own business, the decision becomes simple. It stops being an expense and reveals itself as one of the smartest, fastest-paying investments you can make in your company's physical assets and financial future. You're not just buying a product, you're buying a permanent reduction in your operating costs and a permanent increase in your revenue potential. Now that you have the framework to see the undeniable financial return, the only question left is, how do you get it done right? How do you choose the right film, the right installer, and avoid the common pitfalls that can turn this incredible investment into a costly mistake? That's exactly what we're covering in our final part. First, let's talk about the film itself because not all tint is created equal. This isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. Choosing the right film is like choosing the right tool for a job. You wouldn't use a hammer to turn a screw. Similarly, the film for a street-level boutique is entirely different from what you'd put on a high-rise corporate office. Let's break down the main categories. The most common, and the one that delivers those incredible energy savings we've been talking about, is solar control film. Think of this as sunglasses for your building. Its primary job is to reject solar heat, block UV rays, and reduce glare. But within this category, you have a huge range of options. You'll hear terms like VLT, which stands for visible light transmittance. A lower VLT means a darker tint, letting less visible light through. A high VLT film can be virtually clear but still block a massive amount of heat and UV, thanks to advanced ceramic or spectrally selective technologies. So if you want to preserve your building's natural light and views while still getting the energy benefits, a high VLT ceramic film is your champion. If you're also looking for daytime privacy and maximum glare reduction for an office full of computer screens, a darker, more reflective film might be the answer. Next up is security film. This is where window tinting moves from being a comfort and efficiency upgrade to a serious protective measure. Standard glass is incredibly vulnerable. A rock, a brick, a crowbar, and an intruder is inside in seconds. Security film changes that entire equation. These are thick, heavy-duty polyester films with a much stronger adhesive. When struck, the glass will still shatter, but the film holds all those dangerous shards together in the frame. It creates a tough, flexible barrier that can withstand repeated impacts. For a retail store, this can be the difference between a quick smash and grab and a failed burglary attempt where the thief gives up and flees. For an office building, it protects employees from flying glass during severe weather or even a blast event. And don't forget anti-graffiti film. This is a clear, sacrificial layer applied to the outside of your windows. When a vandal strikes with spray paint or even etches the glass, you don't replace the expensive window. You just peel off the damaged film and apply a new layer for a fraction of the cost. Then we have decorative and privacy films. This is where function meets artistry. These films can completely transform the look and feel of an interior space. Think of frosted films for conference rooms, creating privacy for meetings without making the room feel like a cave. Imagine custom-printed films with your company's logo greeting clients in the lobby, or elegant, etched patterns that add a touch of class to glass partitions in a restaurant or spa. It's a way to achieve the high-end look of custom glass for a tiny fraction of the price, and it's completely removable and changeable if you rebrand or redesign your space down the line. Finally, there are specialty films, the high-tech end of the spectrum. This includes things like switchable smart film that can go from clear to opaque with the flip of a switch, perfect for boardrooms that demand instant privacy. There are also RF blocking films for secure facilities that need to prevent electronic eavesdropping. These are niche, but for the businesses that need them, they are game changers. So, you've thought about your needs and you have an idea of the type of film you want. The next step is arguably the most important of the entire process: choosing the right installer. I cannot overstate this. The best, most expensive film in the world is worthless if it's installed poorly. A bad installation will lead to bubbles, peeling, contamination under the film, and a lifespan that's a fraction of what it should be. Your search for an installer should be treated like you're hiring a critical contractor for a major building project. First, look for experience and specialization in commercial projects. The skills, tools, and logistics needed to tint a 30-story skyscraper are fundamentally different from tinting a Honda Civic. Ask them, what percentage of your work is commercial? And can you show me projects similar in scale to mine? Next, and this is non-negotiable, insurance and licensing. They must have adequate general liability and workers' compensation insurance. Ask for a copy of their certificate of insurance. If an installer gets injured on your property or damages something, and they aren't properly insured, that liability can fall squarely on you, the business owner. Don't even consider a company that can't provide this immediately. Third, demand a portfolio and references. And I don't just mean a few glossy photos on their website. Ask for addresses of local businesses they've completed. Take a drive and look at their work with your own eyes. Are the edges clean? Is there any visible contamination? Then call their references. Ask the other business owners about the experience. Were they professional? Did they stick to the timeline and the budget? Was the cleanup process thorough? A top-tier installer will be an authorized dealer for major, reputable film manufacturers, brands like 3M, Lummer, Eastman, or Avery Dennison. These manufacturers don't just let anyone sell their products. They have stringent certification programs. This is a built-in quality check. A certified installer not only has proven their skill, but they also have deep product knowledge and can explain the technical specifications of different films to help you make the best choice. Finally, pay close attention to the quoting process. A professional quote is detailed. It will break down the exact film being recommended, the total square footage, the cost of materials, the cost of labor, and the warranty information. Be wary of anyone who gives you a vague single-number quote over the phone without ever seeing the property. A true professional will want to do a site survey, measure the windows, inspect the glass and frames, and discuss your specific goals before providing a comprehensive proposal. Now, with all that knowledge, let's cover the 3 biggest mistakes that can turn this incredible investment into a nightmare. Avoiding these pitfalls is the final key to success. The number 1 mistake, without a doubt, is choosing your installer based on price alone. In this industry, you absolutely get what you pay for. The company with the rock-bottom quote is cutting corners somewhere. They're likely using cheap, low-quality film that will discolor, bubble, and fail in just a couple of years. Their installers are probably less experienced, leading to sloppy work. Or worse, they're not properly insured, putting your business at massive risk. A quality installation is an investment that should last for decades. Trying to save a few $100s up front could cost you thousands in replacement costs and headaches down the road. The second major pitfall is ignoring local regulations or building rules. Some municipalities or even homeowner associations for commercial properties have restrictions on window tint, particularly regarding how dark or reflective it can be. A good commercial tinting company should be aware of these local codes, but ultimately, the responsibility is yours. The last thing you want is to spend thousands of dollars on a beautiful new installation, only to be told you have to tear it all down because it violates a local ordinance. Do a quick check with your city planning department or property management company before you sign any contract. And the third mistake, which might seem tempting to some, is trying to DIY a commercial window tinting project. Please do not do this. The videos online make it look easy, but they are tinting a single small window in a controlled environment. Installing film on large commercial panes of glass is incredibly difficult. It requires a dust-free environment, specialized large format tools, and a level of skill that takes years to perfect. You risk contaminating the film, creating massive bubbles, creasing the material, and getting ugly, uneven edges. Beyond that, you could easily void the warranty on your building's windows, especially if they are dual pane, by installing the wrong type of film, which can cause thermal stress. The money you think you're saving will evaporate the moment you have to pay a professional to come and remove your failed attempt and do the job correctly. So there you have it. We've journeyed through the staggering energy savings, the enhanced security, the improved comfort and productivity, and the powerful aesthetic upgrades that commercial window tinting offers. And now you have the complete roadmap to get it done right. How to select the perfect film for your needs, how to vet and hire a true professional installer, and how to sidestep the critical mistakes that others have made. The choice is no longer about if this is a good idea for your business. The evidence is overwhelming. This is one of a handful of upgrades that pays for itself, protects your assets, and enhances your brand all at the same time. The real choice is about taking the next step. It's about transforming your workspace from a point of vulnerability and inefficiency into a beacon of comfort, security, and modern design. Start the process. Reach out to a few reputable, certified commercial installers in your area. Get the proposals, compare the options, and make the strategic investment that will be paying dividends for your business for years and years to come. Your employees, your customers, and your bottom line will thank you for it.